All right, thanks. We're doing problem 21b. We have these coordinates, and then here are our choices, okay? And what we're going to want to do is plot these points on a graph is one way of solving it, and then we can interpret that graph to match it up with one of the choices. So what we'll do is we'll take the -1 and the 7. That means x is -1, and then y is +7. So -1, +7 is right over here. And then we'll have 2, -8. That means we go forward 2 spaces on the x-axis, and we're going down 8 spaces on the y-axis. So that's going to be right there. And now we're just going to connect these dots. And it doesn't matter if it's not exactly to scale, but you can see that going left to right, the same direction you read English, the line is slanted down. So that means it's going to be a negative slope because it's slanted down. Don't look at it from right to left. You got to look from left to right. The same direction you read English, you see it's slanted down. So it's a negative slope. So that means in y equals mx plus b, the number that's in front of the x, which is the slope, is going to have to be a negative number because it's slanted down. So let's take a look at our choices. The answer could possibly be A, it could be B, it can't be C because C has a positive slope. It could be D because D has a negative slope. So now the question is, let's look at the last number, that B, which is the y-intercept. This is a y-intercept of a +2, +7, or -8. If we look here, we have a y-intercept of a +2. Choice B had a y-intercept of +7, and then the other one had a y-intercept of a -8. None of these intercepts look at all right, so we know it has a negative slope with a y-intercept of around 2, which is exactly choice A. Alternatively, if you think it's choice A but you're not sure, you could take these numbers and substitute them into A. So A is y equals -5x plus 2, and I'm going to rewrite that, but wherever I see a letter, I'll put an open and close parentheses, and then I can substitute either the -1 and the 7 or the 2 and the -8. For example, if I plug in a -1 and a 7, that means x equals -1. Y equals 7, and let's just see if this makes sense. A -5 times a -1, the signs are the same, so it's a +5. +5 plus 2 is giving us a 7, so we see that it worked. So you can use either the graphing method or also, in addition to the substitution method, to help solve this. Furthermore, you could also use the change in y over the change in x, so you could put the y's on top, and then the x's on the bottom. Our y values are a -8 and a 7. And our x values are a 2 and a -1. And then -8 minus a 7 is going to give us a -15. And then on the denominator, 2 minus a -1 is a 3. And then a -15 and a +3, the slope is going to end up being a -5. And if you look at our choices, only A and B had a -5. And then at that point, we could always substitute or solve for the y-intercept. Thanks for watching.